Morning Line. It is our final segment on this Thursday, talking about human trafficking, and it's worse than anyone thinks, I think. And that's why we do shows like this. That's why there's an organization in Tennessee, End Slavery Tennessee. Andrea Johnson's with us this morning, and we're talking about what you can do to help. Now, one reason, you come out and you talk on programs like this, and you have fundraisers, and you're all nonprofits, private donations. That's what you run. You've got the 2 safe houses and a main office over in Metro Center. All right, so we talked about it this morning. You're educating folks. What is your hope out of this? I mean, what are people supposed to do now that they know about it?
Well, once people know, our hope is that if you recognize warning signs in someone that you know.
What would those be?
So warning signs would be things like someone who's been typically engaged and present in the relationship, maybe is more withdrawn. Someone who is a younger, teen, all of a sudden has a much older boyfriend. Unexplained absences from school. Someone who's been typically attending school regularly.
Now, a lot of that, radical changes in anyone can be, red flags for any number of big deal problems, or nothing at all, just sullen adolescence. That happens.
Right.
That's why it's hard to target. Now, let's say you do catch wind of it, or you come across a photo of your neighbor on some porn site or something like that. Then what do you do?
Well, there's the Tennessee Human Trafficking Hotline, and people ask, that goes straight to a TBI agent. People always ask me, oh, will I get a machine? I've actually had to call that hotline myself when a girl called into the office for help, and it goes straight to an agent who is going to immediately be able to give you either advice on what to do if you're standing in the scenario, or who's going to mobilize the right individuals to help.
And it's interesting because you don't always know what it is. I mean, you're just thinking about it. There's pornography out there, and that's the way it can start. But as we know, there's legal pornography. There are pornographic magazines, Playboys out there. Okay, there's pictures like that, and those women willingly do this.
Right, absolutely.
And so you come across some image, maybe, but I think we know the difference, don't we? Maybe.
Absolutely.
You see some of these slimy sites that can be out there. If someone sends you something that's inappropriate, now it's a whole different ballgame. Anything involving a minor is criminal. End of story. Period. Okay, that's criminal across the board. But with an adults, then is it something someone's going to look into? You have to pursue it, or on your own, should you talk to the family next door because you saw their daughter on some site?
Well, I mean, I think you have to look individually at each situation, but definitely if you suspect that the person is being trafficked or is on these sites because they're a minor, you should absolutely call the hotline and make sure that you get that reported, because what we do know is that victims rarely self-identify. Every teenager in the world thinks that they have everything under control, and they are doing everything because they want to, except their homework. And so teenagers will very rarely self-identify as victims.
Oh, they won't know it, so you have to recognize it for them.
Exactly.
But I think your point too is good. I guess it may be uncomfortable to contact a neighbor. I can tell you that if I saw that happening with my neighbor's daughter and I called and told him, it would be initiating a homicide.
Right.
So I don't want to do that because Jimmy would take care of business his own way. But I would call law enforcement, and of course I'd let him know. But so then at that point, all right, how do you know if things are, all right, I guess that's one example. Coming across, what other things can people do to help in this fight? Obviously, aside from contributing to causes like End Slavery Tennessee, but in their own way, monitoring, noticing any other red flags that you would notice. What else would you?
Well, I would say that a really, really great place to start is on our website, which I assume you'll have on your site.
And what is it? What is the website?
EndSlaveryTN.org.
Okay.
And our website has a ton of resources. It has lots of different ways that you can get involved, lots of opportunities for groups. We have volunteer groups that meet throughout the city, so pretty much within every area of Metro Nashville, we have volunteer groups that meet monthly. They do education pieces, they mobilize for different volunteer events. They do education in community groups. We send speakers out to churches. We send speakers to schools, to civic groups. I mean, next month we're speaking to, a Rotary Club. We're speaking to church groups. So if you have a group like that you want to have further education, definitely call the office. 615-806-6899. 806-6899. Call the office and ask about getting someone scheduled to come out to your group to do an education piece. There are always opportunities to call lawmakers, because we know that there are laws, on the books that need to be written or changed so that they're favorable for trafficking.
You can find out about those causes on that website.
Yep.
Okay, and we'll get those numbers in the website again in a moment. Let's take David real quick before we come to the end of the show. David, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Hey.
I think there's a problem with people just talking to their kids and teaching them that, stuff like that doesn't go, and it's not right. Just like with the Mountain Dew and the racing fuel, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, no, you know what? I mean,
these kids.
Exactly. And I'm glad you brought that up. And we all know sometimes young people have a mind of their own. They don't self-recognize in themselves. But I don't know. Are you a parent?
I am. I have 5 kids.
Oh, wow. You have 5 kids. Holy cow. So some of them still young? And
3 teenagers.
Do you talk to them about this?
Yeah.
I mean, what should parents tell their kids, I guess?
Absolutely. And you hear this all the time, but I cannot say it enough. Monitor what your kids are doing online.
Yeah.
I mean, there are so many of these social media sites and apps that kids are using now that traffickers are trolling, and they are looking for girls in particular who seem like they might need attention or have low self-esteem, and kids aren't particular about who they friend on these sites.
Oh, right.
And the next thing you know, it's just like that young girl that I described earlier. Your images can end up in a place that really will put you at risk.
Man, just mention it to them. And, just if you would, we hear all this and we do these stories and all this stuff. Just remind folks, the vast majority of people out there, okay, remember this, are good.
Absolutely.
Men and women are good people. It's just the small handful that do some incredible damage.
Absolutely.
But don't forget, most people are good, like you are. And you can take a stand on this. And if you want to, I just want to mention for you the No-Show Ball, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
They have fundraisers like a lot of these great organizations, and this is a good one. I get involved in a lot of children's charitable causes, and I'd be glad to help you guys out if you need something with regard to a moderator, promotion of some of your events. Please let me know. But the No-Show Ball is February 13th, and it's an interesting concept. Tell them what it is.
Yeah, so if you've ever been just inundated with requests to show up at fundraisers.
That's the problem sometimes going.
Yeah, exactly. You have too many things to attend. So we have an answer for that, and you can pay to not show up. Actually,
that sounds good. A lot of people will do that.
On February 13th, Valentine's weekend, we have for $100 a dinner for 4. It's a catered meal delivered straight to your door that day by volunteers, and it will literally feed 4 people. We talked about it. You won't be scraping the bottom of the bowl for that last
and it's
serving.
Good stuff, like
and
you
it's
said.
Good
it's
stuff.
A nice
it's
meal.
Really good meal. It's entree, salad, bread, dessert, and a bottle of wine.
Wow.
For $100. $75 of that is tax deductible.
Okay, and much of that money then goes to this is one of your big fundraisers.
That is one of our big fundraisers. This is our 3rd year.
3rd year.
We are selling door to door it will be delivered to your door in Davidson and Williamson County. And then if you're in one of the outlying areas, we have drop-off sites where you can
go get. Like I live in Wilson County. If I wanted to do that, it would be a drop-off site.
Absolutely, you would have a pickup site.
Well, listen, we've got to run on that, but February 13th, that is a neat idea. It takes care of your Valentine's Day meal as well. And the number again, okay, just for End Slavery Tennessee is 615-806-6899. And for information, you could call that about the ball, but also go to the website, endslaverytn.org. You see it up there on the screen, and you can get everything you need from that as well. Ms. Johnson, thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us.
Keep it on. We're lucky to have organizations like this to help folks.
Thank you.
It's very important. Take a break. Be back with a programming note right after this. Stay with us.